It's kind of sad because where I live, there's not really a lot of option about food delivering because it's a countryside. So it's cool to see they have more option. Yay! 田舎だからさ、あんまさ、なんかいつもさ、そのデリバリーのセレクションがあんまないわけですよ。そうだからね、嬉しい。なんか増えてた。Yeah! Alright then. Let's see it. Okay, how about we watch Angry Video Game
If we're watching Chikawa, I'm leaving.
よし、じゃあ行きましょう。よし。Alright, here we go.
The worst he recalls, he's gonna find out which one sucked the most balls. The angry video game nerd is here. Oh, he's making a list and checking it twice. He's gonna go home and eat chicken and rice. The angry video game nerd is here. He hates the games that stink. He knows which games to break. He just might even hate them all, 'cause he's mad for fucking sake. You better watch out, don't give these games a try. You better not play him, he's telling you why. The angry video game nerd is here.
Let's go!
Back in the 80s, our parents didn't order our Christmas presents online because the internet didn't exist yet. Back then, it was all about catalogs.
A catalog?
Every major department store like Sears and JCPenney will put out these
Wish book, the great American wish book.
holiday wish books. So every year, it was a tradition to browse through these books and circle all the things that you wanted Santa to bring you.
Wow! So oh my god, there's so many toys that you can pick from.
Everything you could possibly imagine was in these books. There were video games, of course. You'd see all kinds of crap like the Rollin' Rocker and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. For $39.87? That's criminal. Speaking of prices, it's funny that at some point, the NES and the Atari 7800 were both the same price. For the 7800, it says it has super responsive joysticks because they knew the Atari 5200 controllers were pieces of shit. Yeah, having a responsive controller is kind of a necessity, wouldn't you say? Also, Super 8 cameras and VHS cameras coexisted.
What the heck is that?
A new VHS camera could cost $1,000.
What the heck? Wait, isn't that something like a TV crew or someone who has it? こんなんさ、なんかテレビ局の人が持ってるようなカメラじゃん。Yeah, like this kind of a camera, a TV crew has it, isn't it? That was for home, for family?
Bucks, yeah. Being able to record yourself with actual footage was a luxury.
$9,900? ちょっと待って、ってことは、100ドルで1万円ぐらいだから、10万近くしたってこと Holy fuck, that's so expensive! What the heck?
My family always had to rent one. There were action figures, you had Ninja Turtles, Inhumanoids, the real Ghostbusters, as well as the other Ghostbusters that nobody gave a shit about. There was the giant G.I. Joe aircraft carrier, all kinds of toys, everything. You can tell that the people who photographed these action figures didn't know anything about them. Like, why is Lion-O and Mumra riding together in the Thunder Tank? And why is laser spelled with quotes? Did Dr. Evil write this?
Laser.
I can't do these books justice. I highly recommend that if you can find one of them, take a look through. It's really a trip. When I say everything was in these books, I mean literally everything. Science stuff, horses, jewelry, lingerie. You turn from a page with kitty stuff to see tobacco.
Ooh.
These books were mostly for kids to tell their parents what they want, and there were even coloring pages in there. But then there were things like
What?
knives and guns.
What?
That's terrible that a kid would be flipping through and see that. You'd go from a page that has all kinds of kitty sleeping bags, and right on the other side of the page is a gun cabinet. Right underneath the Mario sleeping bag is an assortment of guns, and there were lots of them.
So American.
Back to the video games.
Yeah.
A lot of times the descriptions were questionable. For Zelda, it said, gather crystals to stop warlords. That's the worst description to Zelda I've ever heard. Karate Kid on the NES had the wrong screenshot. Where'd they get that from? That's not the Karate Kid. For
Wait, it's a different
Ghostbusters on
one?
Sega Master System,
Thank you
it
for
says
4
scare up
months.
some fun.
Arigato.
Oh, you bet. And it retains
Welcome
the
back,
typo
Dale.
Gorza instead of Gozer. Then we get to the Tiger game.
Oh my
so-
gosh, I remember he was explaining about this one. It was really popular, right? これね、この人が前に説明したらすごい人気だったんでしょね。Thank you for 20 months! Welcome back, Dale!
My. You're at the wheel for all the high-speed thrills of real racing, full of exciting action, true-to-life graphics and sound effects. Are you fucking kidding me? There's no telling if the games were good or not. If it made it into the same catalog as Zelda, you assumed it would be awesome. Like I mentioned, this was the BI era before internet. There were no online game reviews to tell you when a game sucked the big one. It was all a
Yes, we
crapshoot.
remember.
All you had
More pixels. Less pixels.
Yeah, I remember he was talking about it though. I saw it's kind of same as a Game Boy.
was a screenshot, a weak description, and sometimes word of mouth.
I thought it's the
We
same
would
thing as a
usually
Game
gravitate
Boy. Yeah.
towards games that had some kind of reputation. Skate or Die was one of those.
Skate
A
or
game
Die.
dedicated to skateboarding and hosted by Rodney Dangerfield with a mohawk. Even if you didn't know anything about skateboarding, you wanted to be part of the culture. You wanted to be hip. Just as essential as it was to wear bright neon colors and listen to glam
Yes,
rock, you had
the
to at
Tiger games. Just like the Game Boy games. Right.
least try to
Henya said.
skateboard. If you weren't
Yeah,
good
I
at
thought
it,
that's
you'd
what it
fall
is.
on your face and hurt yourself. Then you'd go
Like, I
play
never
this game
seen
and
it.
punish
I never
yourself
seen
even
it. I
more.
didn't
All you do
know.
is fall, fall, and fall. The only way to
I've
play
never seen a
decent at it
Game
is
Boy
to
or a
master
Tiger
its
game.
awkward
I saw it.
controls.
It's kind of same
It's like
thing.
teaching yourself to walk backwards on a tightrope. And once you do get good at the 5 mini games, you realize that's all it is. 2 different half-pipe competitions, jousting, and a time trial and a race, which are so short you can finish them in less than a minute. Almost every kid had this game in their collection at some point. It had cool music, a catchy slogan, and signified everything that was rad about the 80s. But the game was fucking shit.
Wait.
Shit that we held with passion. Skate or die? Looking back, I wish I chose the latter. Then there was Bad Dudes, or Bad Dude, as this wish book called it. Just the name Bad meant that it had to be good. More proof that we had everything screwed up. It's a
Bad
monotonous button masher with choppy movement, lousy hit detection, and back-ass controls. It's another one of those games where B and A are switched, meaning B is jump and A is attack, and you know how it should normally be. Sure, it was early in the age of beat-em-up games, so at the time it was awesome and macho. Playing this
Wait,
game
is
was
that
a
a
symbol that you
ninja?
were a real man.
Why?
But it
There's a
hasn't aged
ninja.
well. It just makes you want to
Nande
play
ninja
Final
がいるんだ。
Fight 3 instead. Still, it has
Why
a
there's a
legacy and has
ninja?
one of the most famous opening screens of all time. Are you a bad enough dude to rescue the president? Bad. Like, what was it with that? Maybe we could blame Michael Jackson for making the word bad so awesome, but we should have never listened to Lucas about the Power Glove. In some cases, bad really meant it. One that's always been on my personal hate list is Karate Champ. This is one that was just as horrible back then as it is now. It's an early example of a one-on-one fighting game, but good lord did they fuck it up. In all the years I've revisited this game, I have never figured out how to consciously do any of the moves. I just mash buttons and see what happens. The instruction manual tries to make sense of it all, but it's way too complicated and there's nothing intuitive.
Wait, A plus B, jump, right, jump, back, kick, front, kick, forward, joystick, withdraw, block, low kick, jump, right,
about it. Hitting your opponent happens at pure random. Most of the time you miss. It's not like he's blocking. Your fists and feet are going right through him, as if you're fighting a ghost. It's hard enough to hit your opponent, but it's even more difficult to keep yourself facing him. It seems like there's certain moves that turn yourself around. Why would the game allow you to face the other direction? Rarely have I ever been able to do the same move again to reorient myself, so I usually end up jumping all over the place just to get myself back in the proper direction. Turn around! Ah! These controls are on the same level as Conan, Winter Games, and Dark Castle, but on closer evaluation, I think it beats them all. The worst fucking controls in existence. And there's no variety, except for a bonus stage where all kinds of shit flies at you. It's a hopeless situation. Other than that, you fight the same opponent the whole game. In fact, there's no difference between the two characters. It's the same guy fighting the same guy for all eternity. Sure, the backgrounds change, but it doesn't affect the gameplay at all. Even the characters don't seem to exist in the same dimension as these backgrounds. No matter the perspective or the lighting condition, they remain unchanged. How a piece of junk like this got released will always be a mystery. Even as a rental, it was a waste of time. Well, in the tradition of wish lists, my fans have had a wish list of their own, of games they've been wanting me to cover. So, it's time to answer some of those requests. Let's reach into the stocking, dig underneath the lumps of coal, and go straight for the shit nuggets. The request I hear all the time is the bad Sonic the Hedgehog games. What bad Sonic games? The Sonic the Hedgehog games were awesome! It was Sega's flagship franchise. Even though it didn't have as much variety as the Mario games, it made Nintendo fans turn their heads. Sonic 2 was the game that made me buy a Sega Genesis. These games boasted fast-scrolling action, colorful graphics, and delightful music. The character was hip and cocky, and it was so much fun to make him run and bounce all over the place. So what are all these bad Sonic games that everyone's talking about? Well, I took a deeper look. Here's Sonic Blast on Game Gear. There's no blast processing with this one. Come on! Sonic Blast? Should have been called Sonic Slow Ass. Not much else to say, just a poor man's version of Sonic. Then there's Sonic Labyrinth. This one experiments with a 3D perspective, but fails. The controls are messy, Sonic's walk is tedious, and doing the spin move only sends him ramming into a wall, unless you get it down just right. Anyway, these are portable games. What do you expect? This is back when the convenience of taking a game with you on a trip often meant compromising its playability.
And also, I ordered a matcha
Then there's Sonic
latte
R on the
too.
Sega Saturn, which I've also been told is terrible.
I bet it's good.
Oh man, they're right. It's basically a racing game, sort of a shitty version of Mario Kart. The steering is so unresponsive that I can barely stay on the track. Oh, come on! And I'm always afraid that it's going to glitch out, that I'm going to fall through the boundaries and into the unprogrammed area of limbo. Another one I've been told about is Sonic Shuffle on Dreamcast. That's right, the last of the Sega consoles, and a good console to go out with. But the same can't be said for this game. After you get through about 10 minutes of story footage and tiresome load screens, the game finally begins, only to bombard you with more text.
So that's
Just
the
as I
last
thought,
one.
it's a board game video game, with some mediocre mini-games in between
Wait, this is
players'
Mario
turns.
Party!
Basically,
Mario Party!
this is Sega's take on Mario Party, but unfortunately didn't turn out as well. Another big request is Shadow the Hedgehog on the Nintendo GameCube. A Sega game on a Nintendo console?
I have never played this game, but I heard the music and it's so good. これさ、遊んだことないんだけど、なんかすごいなんか楽曲がめっちゃかっこいいんだよね。Yeah, the music is so cool.
Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria! Sega and Nintendo were the biggest competitors of my generation, but times have changed. I don't even know who Shadow is, and when did characters in Sonic games start carrying guns? Once again, you have to sit through a movie before the game starts. It's pretty spectacular, but why is it always like this now? Is that what kids do nowadays? Sit around and watch video games? You take control of Shadow, with Sonic following behind. You run, you jump, you shoot. It's pretty self-explanatory. I think it's much more fun than the other games, but I find it a little tough to avoid losing my rings all the time. This homing attack tends to get me killed, and I keep falling down pits.
Every time when I see the character from Sonic losing their rings,